If you've just started college or you're in your early 20s, then this video is for you. You probably have many big dreams and a lot of expectations from life, and there's probably a huge pressure on you to succeed. You probably think that finding the perfect job or the right partner or having a really fun college life is the end goal of life. Once you have that, everything will fix itself. That is the ultimate goal. If you observe the people around you, it is so obvious that none of those things can guarantee a happy and fulfilled life. I can tell you from personal experience that none of those things bring permanent happiness. And the only way to live a fulfilled life is to look within and work on yourself. Hi, my name is Khushi. I used ancient yogic wisdom to get out of anxiety, burnout, and the rock bottom phase of my life. In this channel, you'll find the exact blueprint that helped me. No fluff, no BS, just pure practical logical stuff. So if you want a happier, calmer, more fulfilling life, then subscribe now. With just one click, you will break free from mental health problems and addictions and transform your life forever. I've spent most of my 20s looking for answers for the big questions of life. I have lived the dream you want. I felt something is missing and I went out to look for answers. I've learned a lot, read a lot, experienced a lot of things, and learned the truth in a very, very hard way. And now I'm in a place where even if there are 100 problems in my life all at once, I can most of the time deal with them very calmly without letting the problems take over my life. So here are the 7 brutal truths that I wish I knew when I was 18. So that you don't have to go through the same struggles that I did. These brutal truths will give you freedom and inner peace. The world tells you that if you work hard, you buy that, you find that person, then you will finally be happy. We all start life with a big promise. Everyone tells you that if you achieve success, you buy this, buy that. If you find the right person, then you will be happy in life. In my opinion, this is the greatest lie that has been fed to us in the modern life. I know this lie very well. I have lived it. I was a professional seeker of happiness. I chased success and people like my life depended on it. Every time I reached a goal, the happiness lasted for like 5 minutes. Then the empty feeling came back. On the outside, my life looked great. But on the inside, I was always worried about something. I was so anxious and restless all the time. It was like I was just waiting for something bad to happen. Anxiety was just my default state. Can you relate to that feeling, that deep, silent disappointment? If you have, you need to know that you're not the only one. Our society has become so westernized that the wisdom that was so obvious to our ancestors, we have completely forgotten about it. And the result, we all live lives that look so perfect on the outside, but we all feel so empty and lonely on the inside. We try so hard to control every aspect of our life, trying to build this imperfect, Instagram worthy kind of life, but we forget that there is a much bigger force in play. Ancient texts, the wisdom of the East, they understood this. That's why they never told you to control your life. They only told you to control your inner self. That is the only real power you have. The next 7 points are not just motivational quotes, they are hard truths that will cut through all the false perceptions that you've built that are eating away your life. These are the 7 truths that I found in the darkness that finally led me to light. Number 1, don't create an identity out of your problems. Look at your life right now. How do you describe it to others? What is your story? Most of us in this generation have a victim mindset. Oh, I cannot do this because of my anxiety. I am like this because of my childhood trauma. Or I am depressed because of my job. You are describing the problem, but you are saying, this is who I am. Think of your problem as some unwanted guest at your home. What will you do? You will entertain them for some time and then you will try to get rid of them. But when you make an identity out of your problems, you are not letting that guest to just sit them. You are letting them take over your entire house. Why? There is a subtle but very important difference. You have anxiety. You are not your anxiety. You are giving power to the problem. You are saying that I cannot move forward until the problem is fixed. The problem is a wall that you have built around yourself. You think that this wall is protecting you, but it is actually caging you. You have suffered enough. Stop wearing your suffering as a badge of honor. It is a trap. The minute you start distancing yourself from the problem, you will see that it does not have the same impact on you. Whenever you are having anxious thoughts, close your eyes and try to remember that you are not the mind. You are not the thoughts that are coming in your head. There is someone who knows that these thoughts are coming, right? Try to see who it is. Try to observe the thoughts without being attached to it. Don't try to control it. Don't try to stop the thoughts. Let it come and let it go. Just try to observe what thoughts are coming in your head. See how easily they lose power. Try this and let me know in the comments how it goes. If someone is unkind to you, it is because they are suffering within themselves. This truth changes everything about how you see other people. When someone shouts at you, what is your first thought? They are attacking me. I must defend myself. You feel the anger in you rise up fast. That is the ego's reaction. But here is the truth about it. Look at that unkind person. They are not attacking you, they are attacking themselves. Okay, imagine they have this deep, painful wound inside them. And every time they see someone who is calm or happy or successful, this wound burns. Their mean words are not an attack on you. It is a cry of pain. They are burning inside. They don't even hold the steering wheel of their own life. They let their pain and traumas dictate where they go and what they do. When you finally see this, you stop taking it personally. Their suffering is not your fault. Their reaction is not about your worth. It is a symptom of their inner turmoil. It's about detachment. You see the child within them that is in pain even when the adult version of them is yelling at you. The shift is from why are they doing this to me to what pain are they trying to push away. This truth gives you the biggest gift: peace. You cannot fight the storm, but you can decide to step away. Number 3, no person can bring fulfillment to your life. We had taught the Bollywood lie that we are a half person looking for someone else to complete us. We believe that love is something that someone gives to us, like a gift. So we depend on people like lifelines. Our mood depends on how our partner or our friends are treating us that day. We treat them like the supplier of happiness of our lives. This is a burden that no human being can carry. It is impossible. When you demand another person to make you feel whole, you're setting them up to fail. And when they fail, and because they are humans, they will fail, you feel betrayed. You feel empty again. The truth is that the hole inside you is your responsibility. Your friends, your family, your partner is meant to be a companion on the journey. They are not the destination. Fulfillment is an inside job. It is not something that you receive, it is something you generate. It comes from knowing yourself, accepting yourself, working on yourself, and building a life of purpose. When you're already full, you do not need to take from others. You can give because you have so much of it. Most beautiful relationships happen between two whole people. They come together to enjoy the journey, not to compete with each other. So stop looking for your twin soul and find your own soul first. Number 4, you can't run away from suffering. This is the hardest truth to accept. We are always looking for some kind of a way to run away from pain. We distract ourselves. We use food, social media, going out, even achievements just to run away from the feeling of pain. But the ancient wisdom is clear. Suffering in the outside world is inevitable. It is part of the contract of life. You will fail, you will lose people, you will suffer in life. But here is the paradox: the resistance to suffering is what creates more pain. If it's raining and you don't want rain, so you try to fight the rain, no, you will just exhaust yourself. But if you look at the rain and accept it calmly, then you can think, okay, maybe an umbrella is the good option to deal with it. You cannot run away from suffering because it is your own karma. There is a famous quote from Sadhguru. He says that the only difference between a love affair and rape is your willingness. If you're willing to it, it becomes a beautiful love affair. And if you're not willing, then it is rape. I also read a little bit of astrology. This person I know has some very bad combinations for marriage in his chart. So he asked me, should I not get married at all? I said that if you get scared of the challenges that marriage might bring for you and you try to escape it, then that challenge will come from somewhere else. You can never escape the karma that you are meant to go. Even the gods went through so much trouble in their lives. Can you think of one god that had a very easy life? No. Suffering is the greatest teacher. It shows you where your attachments are. It reveals your true strength. Stop trying to escape the hard moment. Instead, turn around and face it. Ask the suffering, what is it trying to teach you? Turn around and face it, the suffering loses its power. If you are a girl growing up in India like me, then you probably also had a very protected upbringing. Whether it is at school or at home, you are always told to be a good child. And you quickly learn that there are some things that a good child does and some things that a good child does not do. And, and sure, it works great in a lot of ways. But the problem with this is that you never experiment in life. You become too scared to go out of line. You become too afraid to try unconventional things. In turn, you miss out on so much of life. This constant fear of disappointing others is your biggest cage. True act of freedom is giving yourself permission to be imperfect, to fail. Hear me out. It's okay sometimes to break rules. It's okay to make mistakes. It will not destroy you or anyone else. Instead, it will give you character development. You stop being the side character of your own life. You finally become the star. Learn to be kind and compassionate no matter how the other person is to you. This is the ultimate spiritual test. This is not about being a doormat. It is about protecting your inner sanctity. This generation loves to say that I'm only nice to people who are nice to me. But this makes your behavior conditional. You are giving someone else the power to decide your state of mind. If they are rude, you become angry. If they are judgmental, you become defensive. You're basically outsourcing your peace to their mood. Isn't that a bad deal? Your kindness should not be a reward for their good behavior. Your kindness is an expression of their highest self. It's a choice you make to keep your heart clean. When someone is unkind, remember the truth number two. They are spitting poison because they drank it. So why would you do the same? Compassion is simply recognizing that I am human, they are human, and we both are suffering. When you choose your kindness, even when they choose anger, you are declaring your sovereignty. You are saying that I will not let your darkness dim my light. This is a profoundly self serving act. It protects your own peace. Real strength is not in hitting back. Anyone can do that. Real strength is in being calm and sending love. Number seven, love is inside you. No one else can give you love. This is the capstone. It brings all the other truths together. We started with the lie that happiness is external, and we end with the truth that love is internal. You spent your entire life searching for it. You looked in the faces of friends, family, partners. You were looking for someone to fulfill your thirst, when the person who was going to do it has always been you. The love you seek is the essence of who you are. It is not a feeling that comes and goes. When you feel lonely, you're not missing a person, you're missing a connection to yourself. That is why meditation and inner work are vital. They help you quiet the noise so that the silent presence of love that is always there becomes loud. When you realize this, two things will happen. Your relationships transform. You stop demanding love and start radiating it. You become the source, not the beggar. And number two, fear vanishes. The fear of failure, the fear of rejection, the fear of being alone. It will all disappear because you can never be alone if the source of your love is within you. Love is not something you get, it is something you are. Let that sink in. So, what is the new contract that you make with yourself? The old contract was that I will wait for life to fix me. Old contract was I will wait for life to fix me. The new contract is that I am responsible for fulfillment no matter what. These truths are brutal. Yes, they are not easy. These truths are brutal. Yes, they are not easy. But they give you unshakable power. Stop wearing your problems. See the pain behind the unkindness. Become your own source of fulfillment and love. Embrace the suffering that teaches you strength. Work is internal. The journey is yours to take. Peace you are looking for is not waiting for you at the finish line. Available to you right now in this moment when you choose to see the truth. The only savior you need is yourself. That's it from me today. If you realize that some of these truths have hit hard and the way you have been living life has been opposite of it, then ensure that you take an action today. Change the belief in you that creates that behavior. When you change the belief, your thought patterns will change. And when your thought patterns change, your actions change. And in turn, your life changes. I'm teaching a unique way of practicing Ho'oponopono that has helped me let go of my limiting beliefs. It's a 21-day program. It's highly personalized and highly transformative. You can find the details in the caption below. I hope to see you there.